high ground.
They're playing bunker with a road dog.
Exactly, that's why we just go around them.
They have a McCree.
Okay, we'll hit. Okay. Nice throwing. Okay. I'll jump onto the Risa. Oh shit.
Okay, yeah. It's a little thing here, right? You didn't need to get off the high ground, and you were with your monkey, and he still had his jump ready because he hasn't used it yet. It's a lot to keep track of, like keeping track of someone else's cooldowns as well, but he had his bubble down, right? And you didn't really need to DM if he was going to drop his bubble. If anything, you could have waited until they push him, because you DM straight away, if I see it right now.
Nice throwing.
Which is fine, you meant to DM straight away because he got hooked. And that was good, but then he's got the bubble down, you should just let him dance with it. Instead you used all your DM and you dropped onto the low ground, and you've taken about like 400 HP off. Yeah, you fed them like 300, 400 HP. Again, you didn't need to drop down with him, you can DM from that high ground. And then if he wants to commit, then you can commit with him. But wherever your monkey goes, you want to try and stay near him, but if your DM can get to him from the high ground, it's better that way.
Yeah.
And plus, let me rewind it. They're playing the bunker comp, and if you're gonna be this close, right, you're microing into a fucking shield, right? So like, you could just be pushing this McCree if you wanted to, since there's no difference being in front and behind the shield. The only thing you got to keep track of is if the hog has got his hook, and if he doesn't, then you're free to do a bit more in front around the shield. Because microing this missile against this comp is going to do jack shit for you.
On the matrix.
I want.
Now it's just clean up, so you don't need to worry about much.
Oh, me or George.
Nice. Everyone.
I'm throwing this in
Everyone.
the spot.
Great fucking comms and teamwork on that dive.
Oh, everyone apart from Azael's got 80% or more in their ultimate.
Cool, man.
I'm doing this.
This aggressive dive was.
Yes, Robbie! Big bro, dude. I forgot, I thought my recall was on C for some reason.
I just
waved at them.
Get the restart,
We got restart. Oh,
Okay, so what do you think you're doing wrong there? I'll replay it for you.
I used my booster, didn't I, to go in? I didn't need to.
Well, I mean, that's one thing, sure. If you were going to use it anyway, you could have gotten in front of the shield again. But something else, right? I'll replay it.
I just waved at them.
Get the restart.
We got restart.
So it's not completely wrong, right? But if you look before, I think you pressed tab here. I mean, you can see in the top left, if you did press tab, it's not your job to keep track of it. Your teammates should communicate this to you. But you know that Monza's got his barrage, and most of the time you just want to do it as a heat of the moment kind of thing. He won't be able to communicate to you, like, as a game plan, he wants to barrage. He'll only really say, I'm going to barrage now. And just, your DM management here, again, is in front of the bubble when the monkeys put it down. You want to try and cycle your DM as like a as something to fall back on. You don't want to use it instantly like this, because you don't need to. You have the 600 HP bubble, and it does like take a lot of damage, a lot more than you think.
Okay.
Because right here you've used up all your DM, and it's on the 2-second cooldown here. So now I mean, Mons does get away with it because it's not the most coordinated kind of scrim situation. But you could have been able to keep him alive in case it didn't go that way. Or if they had some sort of defensive ult like the Lucio.
Yeah.
Next time call so I can make you show you, bro.
Yeah.
that.
You want to be able to like keep track of what cooldowns the enemy will have and what cooldowns your teammates will have, and the ults especially, because if you see their Hanzo right now who's doing like the most on their team, or you see like Diana hasn't used her nade in a while, you want to be able to like keep that in your mind so that you can hold DMs for that kind of cooldown. Because if you're using DM only for like just normal damage with their weapons, then you're using your own cooldown for normal like primary fire instead of using your cooldown for their ults or their own cooldowns.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
have you seen that little Jane clip in one of his VOD reviews? It's like primary fire. Oh shit! It's like primary fire does lesser than CDs, does lesser than ults. So if you can use your ult, of course that's like the best thing you can use, like to win a fight. If you can deny an ult with your CDs, that's even better. All right, that's like a good use of your CDs, really good use of it. But if you can deny CDs with like primary fight, which is what they're doing with you and your DM usage right now, you're putting like 2 CDs into them. Like with your monkey and your DM, or your monkey bubble and your DM, and all they're doing is putting a shield down and then just shooting it. And then they can wait to use their own CDs to fuck you over. Like, you want to think of it that way. You want to at least get the most of your CDs as possible. Because a lot of the time, I mean, you didn't really need to use your micros as much in this kind of comp. Apart from shield break sometimes. But when you're that close to them, you can, like, might as well force some cooldowns out of them. By microing into them. And, like, shit like comboing your micros with your boost is a lot more than you do that a lot less than you'd think. Like, after watching this VOD.
Okay.
Just keeping that in mind. I'm gonna write this down later, so don't worry. I'm just saying shit right now that I've got on a notepad.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, guys, ults plan. What are you gonna do?
Bomb. Bomb and then burst and shield.
Yeah,
Do
when
we
they put
bomb
down
when they
a
get
shield,
like the center? Bomb when they get low?
when they put down, they're going
Step
left side, they're
below,
going
step
left
below,
side.
step below, step below.
So we're gonna go do shoot.
No,
Okay.
we're in it, we're in it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm pretty sure you know that bomb was like not needed, right?
Yeah, I know
Okay.
that.
Thirdly,
I was
Just-
focused on the reset putting a shield down instead of the kill feed, so that's why I did it.
Yeah. I just wanted to know that you knew.
You said bomb when they put new shield down, so.
you already worked like 3 kills.
They're running dive now. So we can burn down.
They're not running dive.
Watch monkey.
Fucking recruiters and Hanzo.
Monkey.
McCree what?
But why? But why did you do this whole rotation? You know they've got dive, you saw their monkey and their diva that they've got, and they were low. If you stayed up there, you would have killed them. That's a hindsight thing, though. It's like, you would have, or what if, but like, the thing you could just focus on in the meantime. When they have a dive comp, as long as you have a high ground over them, you've got an advantage, like all the time. Because you have the opportunity of getting into their backline without using any of your cooldowns. And they'll have to be forced to use their cooldowns to get into your backline. So as long as you can just stay on this kind of high ground up here, you would have had a like better advantage every single time. Unless they can force you out with ults or some shit, but they just swapped off their tanks. The only thing they'll have is their 2 DPS ults, and they used their nano last fight, so only Lucio. And you've pretty much got the like almost ult advantage, so you don't need to worry about that right now. You can stay and use the high ground instead of wasting your CDs for it. Okay.
I'm bully on the end.
Let me just rewind this again. Okay. Again, you saw your monkey and your tracer down here, that's fine. Jumping in for them, iffy. But the monkey is low and you want to get more damage on him, so that's cool. Or like he's half HP. But you didn't really need to, because like, what's the huge difference? I'm pretty sure monkey's hitbox, if I can just pause it. Like when you're here, monkey's hitbox is large enough to take all of your shotgun spread from your bullets. So you didn't really need to drop. You could have just stayed on this walkway again, stay on the high ground. Like it's really important you keep this in your head. Like all high ground is good ground.
Yes,
Unless they're set up there with like some bullshit which you can't jump into.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could have DM'd him there. You could have been like, you didn't really need to use DM there though, because what have they got? They got a Lucio, they got a monkey. Who the fuck's gonna do that much damage unless they're Lucio's fucking, what's his name, Frogger or some shit? He ain't gonna do much. There's a tracer and a monkey here that he has to shoot at, and monkey can't get DM'd, so you're just throwing your DMs out in these kinds of situations when you don't need to. At least like look around you for 2 split seconds, and if you see a cooldown come up, like primary fire cooldowns, whatever the fuck, and that kind of shit that I wrote before, just think about when it's necessary to use your DM and like look at yourself and think, am I just throwing this right now?
Whistle on me.
Yeah.
Nice. Lucio.
I'm bully on the Ana.
You what?
I'm slapped.
Nice.
Fucking so hard, dude.
We're just better, dude.
I
Nice.
just bullied the
So yeah, you were able to just get aggro because their team couldn't do
Dude, I
like
totally didn't
anything
know.
together. They got split as shit, so it was easy for you. But going into the backline like that and dropping off the high ground, you probably would have died if it wasn't OT. In any other situation, I don't even think you realised it was that deep into the game.
Yeah, Roby just like
Yeah, it's fair.
to go into the enemy team.
Why don't you play the...
By the way, just a question, like in general, have you lot been playing Orisa triple or quad DPS at all?
We actually played some in a scrim yesterday, so triple
Okay.
DPS, at least triple DPS.
Okay, it's just because that's all my... Well, I don't know if it's gonna fully be meta, but that's the only thing I've seen people play and like my ranking up. I don't know if it will convert to you, but it'd be a good thing to try and swap off from a goat's mentality to that kind of Orisa bunker, like triple DPS kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the first map we went to something like dive. We were playing like triple DPS up until that point.
Okay.
I'm from the moon.
Alright.
No, I'll get it for you.
Follow the monkey wherever he goes.
Remember, guys, Winston goats is different than the rank goats.
It's fine, just follow the monkey.
Instead of a German.
It's more about isolating a target than living off it.
Right thing.
I see a water.
Big cameraman.
Okay, play. Hold on, play.
And he heals.
So yeah, already you've wasted your micros into their enemy bubble, which is like the best thing that Winston can get out of his bubble. If he can like bait your cooldowns or some shit, he's like, you've already dropped your damage by half by doing that. You have to wait another 8 seconds before you know, shit, I can't circle that. You have to wait another 8 seconds before you can find another target and like properly be able to kill them. Because micros is half your damage, right? You got your boop, your punch, and your shotgun. That's the other half. Micros does a lot more damage than any of your cooldowns. So throwing it into a bubble like this is a bit trash.
Okay.
Oh shit.
You get target?
Okay. So why are you setting up like here? If you just look at it 1 second.
Oh shit.
You get target?
You're here behind this pillar, sure. And that's fine, you eat the damage coming in. Why do you do this?
Win.
Like, just look at your HP for 1 second during this little rotation.
Okay.
Oh shit.
You get target?
Like, you just lost 400 HP by that little rotation. What do you think you could have actually done?
Played the corners, I guess. Kind of use kind of barriers in the game.
Yeah, sure, or just not rotate around the pillar and come back that way.
Yeah, follow a bit more with the
Like,
Winston.
as soon as you notice that they've got like 1, 2, 3 DPS, any sight lines that they have on you is probably going to be from 50 meters away, and you do not have the weapons to contest it from that far away. You'd want to be able to like go around that little block here. If you were going to go for a dive, you'd want to go around this block here and then get behind them, so that, or just near them, so that you don't have to waste your cooldowns onto them. And you've got goats anyway, you got monkey goats though, so you need to be able to fucking what's it called, plan out your dives or some shit. Your monkey needs to be in them, being ignorant as fuck and just annoying them in the backline, like maybe up here. And then you just need to be able to use these corners to close in the gap between you, instead of just going all the way straight towards them. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I see.
Because right now you just like you probably fed about 20% of their ult together.
Come on. Nice.
Oh my god, I'm out.
I'm low, guys.
I'm about the
Widow
widow.
down.
I'm on the widow.
The widow. Yeah.
Widow one.
Widow.
Again, you could just be hugging corners right now instead of staying in the open, but you know, because you got the point, you don't really need to be killing yourself like that.
I'm leaving.
Oh, it's 1 point.
You can just be C9ing it off them a bit more.
Yeah, they got a ball. They got a ball now. They were running solo tank Winston. What the fuck?
They triple DPS. We swap here, right?
I think give it. I think try and give it all my go because they're split out, so we can isolate someone a little easier.
No, don't float. Oh, triple DPS.
Okay.
No, move.
So I know Muzzo is being a bit dyslexic, right? And he was like giving himself to the enemy as a free kill. But you had all of your DM and you only used a tiny bit of it. I don't know if you misclicked or whatever and like took your finger off it. Or if you have it on toggle and like double clicked or some shit. But you could have just DM'd the entire thing because you had enough time to just walk back there and charge all your DM again.
I think at that point I was tabbed out with something and just like
Okay, never mind.
and I just tabbed back in and I got getting shot. Me and Miz got getting shot.
No, never mind. Just like, yeah. Because then you face tanked and you fed another like 300 HP because of that.
Yeah, I see.
I got walls. Be aware.
It's unlucky though. You shouldn't have had to do that anyway, it's not your fault.
Big throw.
Roby, stop throwing.
Yeah.
Roby, stop throwing.
Yeah, like, you're peeking again, and you just gave their soldier Helix, which I think does like 6% to his ult, which is a lot if you just keep on doing that over and over again every fight. So like, if you just look at your LOS this fight, you didn't need to walk out here at all in this kind of area, which they can see. Because like, anything here is bad LOS. You could just be hiding around with Muzzo here or whatever. Your DM doesn't like go only in front of you like that. You can stretch it out across the doors.
Roby, stop throwing.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's go all the way back.
It's unlucky reaction.
Go like all the way back.
Boys, I'm
Again, unnecessary rotation. You lost 150 HP. That's like another 6-7%, and that shit will just build up because you pretty much do it every other fight. Every fight, sorry.
Okay, well hit.
Oh my god.
Move up.
And
move up.
again,
See.
like another like little thing. You know they're running triple DPS and they're holding fast sight lines, so like the first thing you want to do is just check corners with DM, and because you know they're just going to be holding this angle on you. They have been holding this angle on you for the longest time possible, and you don't have a shield in front of you. So unless they call out like, I'll bubble the monkey in or some shit, which I don't think the Zarya should really be doing in floats, then just hold like open into the corners with your DM, and then you can speed boost through and hold the DM as well after you get to like this corner, just to make sure nobody gets picked off. If it weren't you, it was going to be someone else.
Yeah, Ash definitely has Bob right now. Okay, I'm on the Ash 3-2-1 now.
I'm in backline, guys.
Where?
Backline.
Any heals? Please.
Yeah, I don't really think you know what you're doing right now in Diva.
Yeah, I was
It's like
confused there.
it's a bit obvious. Like in general with floats, I don't think you know what you're meant to do with Diva, because you're trying
Yeah,
to
I
dive in with your
really-
monkey half the time and you're trying to peel half the time.
I played very little floats to be fair.
Okay, just tell your team don't go onto it. Nobody, I don't think anyone should really be playing floats until GM, because they don't fucking know what the actual point of floats is or how you play it, because it's a lot more different than goats than you'd expect. If
Yeah,
you're
but-
uncomfortable with the comp and you honestly don't know how, and you see that your team doesn't know how, just call the swap instantly. I'm pretty sure Radiator does call it now, but to begin with, you shouldn't have done this if you don't even know what rollouts you're gonna do.
Let's just go on to regular dive,
Lost
'cause
three,
the Ash is
lost
not
three.
here.
Yeah, he does call
No.
from the regular dive now.
Yeah, I'm feeding here as well.
Yeah, but I mean, you called the swap. It's not
Yeah,
the
that's-
worst thing to just kill yourself if you didn't have the CDs to get out, but here or there.
They have wall hacks.
Oh wait, you weren't even swapping unlucky, you just fed.
Nice. Now go.
Never mind.
Go.
Yeah.
You threw out your micros again. I'm gonna bully you every time you do it now. Because when they've got so many squishies like this, you don't want to be using it long range. Against other goats comps, you can throw your micros whenever you want to break shield or to like get output, like damage output onto their Rhine. When you're playing against squishies like this, you want to hold your boosters and your micros until you get right up into their face, and you can just do the big combo for like 50 damage combo to begin with, and then you only have a quarter of their HP to deal with afterwards.
Res now.
Res.
Crushing them.
Okay, guys, no healing for now.
Right, you're learning. Oh, Widow's all the way.
No, I've got a
on the right. Widow's on the right.
So like right there, that was a bit nice.
Widow's all the way.
No, I've got a counter.
Unfortunately, he got the mega, but I don't think he would have been able to live without it if you chased him properly. He was full HP, so it's fine if you left him there. But wait one sec, I want to rewind that.
Okay, guys, no healing for now.
Right, you're learning. Oh, Widow's all the way.
No, I've got a counter.
Okay, no. If that Mercy was... okay, never mind. I thought there was like no one behind you and you were just chasing a ball for no reason.
On the right. Widow's on
Your
the right.
Genji, though, it's a bit of a Pepega moment for him.
Can we touch? Can we touch?
Yep, I can.
Okay, just go. Dude, just wait for
I just.
Okay. It's
Was one
fine.
necessary now? I think I could have saved it.
What do you think you're doing wrong here? Because I mean, I'm just saying everything for you right now. I should be asking you the questions. Like, what do you think you're doing bad right here?
Okay, guys, no healing.
Guess there was very little support for the Winston.
No, I've got a counter.
Well, I mean, that's one thing, sure.
Um,
Peeling for your Mercy and making sure she gets the res off is fine. He would have probably missed the Mercy. I mean, he would have either hit the Mercy or missed her. And if a Mercy and Zen is there, you shouldn't really need to worry about them. Peeling for them is fine, but you chased him way too deep. And you ended up, yeah, getting your monkey split. He was only with your... oh no, he was alone, yeah, never mind. Yeah. That's probably his fault as well for going in without you lot.
Can we touch? Can we touch?
Yep, I can.
Okay, just go. Dude, just wait for
I didn't know you were gonna.
Okay. I'll just rewind this again. What do you think you did wrong?
Okay, just go. Dude, just wait for
It's like 2 or 3 things.
when the soldier needed altered, I threw my mech up straight away. I mean, I had like no matrix, to, like really block it. I'm guessing.
Why?
Can we touch? Can we touch?
Yep, I
Just
can.
like, I want you to give me all the details. It's literally in this like 5-second time frame from here.
Yep, I can.
Okay, just go. Dude, just wait for
I just.
Like, name the 2-3 things you did wrong right there.
I'm
Or maybe
just
like just
Winston.
slipped up.
Pardon?
You what?
When the Winston dived in, I didn't go with him at all.
Yeah, that's one thing. What's another thing?
No, is he would it be something to do with like the wrecking ball back there or something, or?
I can.
What about it?
Okay, just go. Dude, just wait for
I just like didn't chase, like I just let him get out.
Yeah, you meant to let him get out, but what did you do to
Fair
him?
enough.
Yep, I can.
Actually, watch what happened.
Okay, just go. Dude, just
Oh, I wasted my micro missiles.
Yeah. Their ball's got 600 fucking HP. Your micros aren't gonna do anything when you're alone. You had your Mercy Zen and your Genji with you back there last time, so he was killable, and it's fine if you wanted to use your micros there. Chasing a ball is pretty much the last thing you want to do in a triple DPS comp. Putting your cooldowns into him is the ball's only objective in a triple DPS. As long as he can get all your cooldowns out, his team's free, and you've just you're feeding your you're getting your monkey to feed as well. But another thing was DMing into your monkey's bubble, but that was like you were a bit split, so I don't know if you're going for him or for the bubble.
I didn't know you were.
But then again, you were split, so that's another wrong thing.
Bomba. Nice.
Mercy Discord again.
On the ball. Slamming on Ash. 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay, another thing I want to just call you out on is apart from when you chased the ball back when your Mercy was resing, I don't think you've actually looked at your teammates and made sure they were going to live with your DM.
Okay.
I know it's like a bit like a support kind of thing to do, but D.Va Zarya, like, you need to keep track of your teammates as much as you are with the enemy. It's not your main job to make the kills happen, or like to get the kills. It's your job to make the kills happen, right? And if you're losing your value out of your DM, the only value you're getting is by firing. You should be primarily, can I get DM value? Because that's the only reason why D.Va is being played at all in OWL right now. Don't know if she will be that much in the next patch, but it's the only reason she's being played. After that, look at value you can get with your boosters and like contesting other enemy heroes on the high grounds that nobody else can really get to in goats comps. Dive comps, you and the monkey can get there. What kind of value can you get out of your boosters with it? With the kind of like knocking off DPS from it, contesting them. Another thing you should be looking at after that is when can you use your micros properly to get the most damage output, which is like when.
Like kind of close range fight with DPS or something.
Yeah, obvious. You use your boosters and then hold on to your micros. Don't just like throw it out as soon as you boosters. Like wait a bit until you know you're close enough to track the rockets enough. If you're like weary on how to track rockets, like just get used to their projectile. When you're tracking people, you should be like using a projectile like tracking. So like aim in front of where they're gonna run to when you're using your micros, because it does more damage than your primary fire.
Okay.
And then the last thing you want to be doing is look at, can I kill someone here? Using your bomb is good here, just in the middle of the point to clear them out. I didn't expect you to get 2 kills. I think they're just being a bit of a, like, it was either a really good bomb or they're Papagas. And it's a bit of a mix if a Lucio got killed by it.
Mercy Discord, guys. Mercy Discord.
Yeah, but you can't really do much here.
Slamming on that, 3, 2, 1, now.
I want you to just like look around more when you play D.Va. If you're gonna try and get comfortable in playing her a lot more than usual, you need to just be able to have a higher awareness than that. Check, make sure you know your LOS is good enough so that you can live, right? And then make it so that if anyone gets caught out, because you'll know when you're in like some safe position or whatever, and you don't have to worry about getting pressured too much. You can look around a quick second, see if anyone's low, see if you need to check on some shit like that, because you could have probably saved the Zen's life instead of having to peel for the Mercy trying to res him. If you just like DM'd out into a room or like checked whoever was shooting at him. I forgot who it was. I think it was Widow. So if you just like DM'd out of the room.
Was it a bomb? Maybe.
No, before, like way before.
Oh, before.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just little things like that. You need to like have that tiny bit of awareness instead of just like focusing. You don't need to be fucking like you don't need to have like 6 eyes around your head. You just need to be able to stop tunnel visioning into getting kills and just look around a quick second every like little few seconds or whatever. Can't phrase this well, but
yeah, I see.
Like if you see a Hanzo pop a storm arrow, you know he's gonna be doing a lot more damage than usual. If you can't reach him with a DM, look at where he's shooting and then just hold the DM preemptively. Even if no one's there, you're stopping a potential kill. Because like, if they got away or some shit. And
got it.
So other shit, like if you see McCree getting aggro on you, look at who he's getting aggro on. Or a hog's trying to get near to you, try and make sure that you're not the one who gets hooked so that you can save someone with your DM. Worst case scenario, run and boost in front of someone who's about to get hooked, so you take the damage for them if you don't have your DM, some shit like that. Like your main role is a tank, and you're not playing D.Va like that. You're playing her just to help a monkey, which other supports could be doing right now, or even a Genji could be doing. You're just denying a little bit of damage for your monkey, that's it. I don't really see you DMing your team as much as you should.
Keeps like the attention when their Ashe or their Widow is able to be dived.
Okay, let's I think Reese triple DPS. Because that's gonna shit on the ball, Louisiana.
Okay, yeah, you do run it here, I remember now.
Just so I quite like your Ashe.
Main comp with triple DPS Orisa, by the way, is like Orisa, Mercy, maybe Zen sometimes if you can't run quad. And then you'd have Widow, Ashe or Hanzo, and then Pharah, or Pharah as well. You definitely want the Widow.
No Sombra.
No, you definitely want the Widow. You definitely want another sniper. And then if your projectile can't play Hanzo or Ashe, then you'd want him on Pharah or some shit. Genji's not that great because nobody else can really help him, and he can't take angles. The main point of triple DPS with Orisa is so that Orisa can tank anything on objectives or near objectives, and everyone else just like fucks around. So if I just draw a diagram, this is like point A or some shit. You have a high ground up here, which your Widowmaker's on with a fucking sniper or some shit. You got a Hanzo behind them with the big bow right here. And then you've got maybe Pharah in the sky with a Mercy pocket. Just getting her dick sucked by the Mercy. But this is PG kids, so we'll delete that. So yeah. Having a Sombra isn't the worst, but it's not as good as having other heroes because your hacks aren't as important as taking angles and putting on pressure that way. Just by taking space behind enemies, you're putting pressure on 6 people instead of only being able to hack 1 person. But the fact that they run triple DPS with Bull gives you a lot more value than you would have if they had... if they had goats, it would give you a lot more value, but they only really got a Bull right here that you can hack and get a confirmed kill all the time. Soldier has good, like he can contest you in 1v1 you, same with Ashe and same with Widow, and the Widow does a good job contesting you. She hit like a headshot almost every single time she did 1v1 you, I remember. But you got lucky with her missing the full charge and you got away with like 2 HP a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's right at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again, I think that happened like twice. But and you only really contested her like 3-4 times. So that's a 50% conversion rate in 1v1s. So that's not something you want to go for instead of a like almost 100% against the Bull. You can 1v1 him for free, but he's the only one you can really get value on. Yeah, I don't know why they're running Lucia. If they had Zen, he'd be another one. And then Mercy's always great to hack some, like when she's Valking or some shit. But it's still a bit iffy. If they run goats into you, you're probably better off running a Sombra instead of Widow.
Okay, let's go. Okay, go right side so we have more side. Go right so we have that lines.
They have an Ana, they have a Doomfist, they have a Soldier, they have a Widowmaker.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hack Bull, hack.
It's like, yeah.
Hack,
You get a hack on him and you've turned it into a 5v5 again. Or 6v5 now with the res. But just look at yourself and look at what you do after you kill the Bull. And just ask yourself why. Why?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, like...
I know it's like you're just moving around and you want to keep moving, but you need to stop being as fidgety. And I see it's like the same thing as fucking people who play CSGO and they're in lower ranks. They'll always move around and shit when they don't need to. You want to like hold shit, or wait until your cooldowns are ready, and then you can go out. You could have fucking trans to the point if you wanted to get and cap the point, but it wasn't even open for another 8 seconds, so you didn't need to worry about it. And plus your trans is a bit too far away. That's another thing I want to talk about. It's like way back in that mega room. If you're gonna have it somewhere, you want it to be near a team fight, or somewhere where you can escape and then get back into a team fight relatively quickly.
What would you suggest in this situation then? Would you say
there's you know the planks above this mega room?
Oh yeah.
You can put that on your side of it, get to the mini if you hack that, or you could have it just on the high ground behind your team, so you can drop into the mega room there.
Okay, yeah.
Any place where you can put it on a high ground is a good place, right? Getting behind their team is a bit risky since your escape option is into their backline, and I don't really suggest it unless you're on some sort of like 2 CP map, maybe. On a King of the Hill is kind of the worst place you want to have your trans. In that room isn't the worst, but it's like you don't have another escape option. You want to have like a plan B and then a plan C. So if someone's near your trans or you're getting pressured at your trans after you TP, you want to be able to escape from like the high ground if you want to, or you could drop down.
Yeah.
Crossing this line here is a bit retarded, but it happens, and you won the fight anyway, so it's not the worst. It was because of your hack on the ham, and then they couldn't do shit, so well done. Yeah.
shot.
might need hits.
And now they swapped to monkey, so it's even worse.
Okay, they're running solo tank monkey, so we can shut down the monkey really easy.
Actually, wait one sec. I'm talking about
Okay, they got
these little planks here on your side. If you didn't know what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're running solo tank monkey, so we can shut down the monkey really easy.
So yeah, she's half HP right now, and you almost get fucked,
Oh my
even
god.
though you had the
Behind,
biggest
you need to go
advantage.
behind.
Yeah, the mega health pack behind you, Troll.
Yeah. I know it turned into a 5v6 after, or 6v5 after you won that fight, but they could have gone in. There's a risk of them going in, and it's good that you want to feed your supports ult charge. But if they're focused already on like healing your Pharaoh, who's taking a bit of damage right now, then you could just keep yourself alive. You don't need to worry too much because fucking mercy charges are all like nothing, and Zen's the only one you need to really worry about, and he's with the Orisa pocketing her all the time. Getting a tiny bit of ult charge is good and all, but a lot of the time you should be worrying about keeping yourself alive if the supports aren't that aware. So
Yeah.
calling out for them over and over again isn't the best thing. If you're just gonna be a Sombra, if you're a tank, maybe you can like call out to them, yeah, sure. But like maintain yourself. That's what separates a lot of good supports. Like knowing where the megas and shit are, and maintaining your own HP instead of relying on supports all the time. Because that foreign needs his pocket. The mercy left you for 1 second and he almost died. Okay, if you, like yeah.
Soldier all the way left. Soldier one.
The triple hit scan.
No, too much AP, you're gonna do too much, bro.
Monkey's on fire again.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Did you even aim when you threw this?
Nah, just chuck it to be fair.
That could have gone off the map, you didn't realise, and you would have been
To be
fucked.
fair, we had a Route 66 game before that, and that's exactly what happened. I just threw it like that, and I landed on the cliff, and I teleported, and I just fell off the cliff.
Like, where could you have done it if you were just gonna throw a quick one?
Just like in a safe place, like on the high ground.
Like, where? Draw it on.
Like, kind of that high ground over there.
Sure.
A little balcony bit.
If you even wanted to, you could have put it up here. But, another thing, right? Why did you go right up to their faces
Triple hit scan.
No, too much AP, you're gonna do too much, bro.
and then do it?
Oh, because I remembered I was like, oh, I haven't put Translocator down.
I'm gonna look at another thing. Your Sombra play is like a game of chess, alright? You need to have game plans on game plans. If you don't, you're gonna get fucked because you don't have an escape option and you're an easy target. Because of your head hitbox is actually kind of like fat.
Mega health pack behind you.
Because you know Sombra's big brain like that.
I have one old dodge.
Yeah, that's it.
Soldier all the way left. Soldier
She's
one.
not really. She's Babega, but we
No,
don't.
too much AP, you're gonna do too much, bro.
What else do you think you're doing a bit shitty right now?
Monkey's on fire again.
Nothing. Like, literally nothing, because I'm not doing anything there.
No,
Sure.
you're doing something. You're invis.
Wait, no, I'm the aquatic.
I just walked straight into her.
Well, I mean that's another thing, but like literally right now, I'm actually like scared for you if you don't realize what you're doing wrong. Well, not wrong, but it's like dodgy as shit.
Or just like, I'm walking into their team, like,
Too much, bro.
Oh yeah,
not
that's
really caring.
you can walk into their team, but at least don't try and fucking act like you're Neo from the Matrix. Like look at this shit. Look at the soldier
Walking through
spray.
that bar.
Look at the soldier spray right now.
Too much, bro.
You almost got fucked by a helix. That's half your damage gone, and then monkey's right here to eat you up if you don't trans away in time.
I don't even have Translocator there, so...
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even have a trans yet, so you would have actually been fucked. Like, always have a game plan and find a safe route where you can get behind or like near the enemy if you're gonna go for a hack or some shit. Like, you don't even need to go in front of them. If you see their monkey going through this room, you can just hide in the corner just outside the room. If you know that little corner there near the plants.
Yeah.
You can hide there or above him and wait for a hack.
Okay, I see.
But, like, think about what you're doing before you actually just run in and throw your shit away. You'll always be able to know what you did wrong if you just looked at it, and you could always say, oh, I could have done this, but like actually do it in a match, because nobody does that, including me. They can always put out what you do, like what they do wrong, but no one will actually do it in a match.
Monkey's on fire again. Oh, man.
Wait, no, I'm the quad hits, guys.
Monkey low, monkey low, monkey low.
I mean, it's a bit early to TP out. You can like look at who they had there. Monkey, Lucio. Other way around, but they're both monkeys, so it doesn't matter. Like, you didn't need to worry about getting pressured out of there, because you could just ask for a Zen orb or like ask for heals 1 second from your, like, I don't know about Mercy, but you could have asked for an orb, contest that, and possibly kill their monkey, because look at his HP compared to yours.
I'm the quad hits, guys.
Like, he went from full to 1 in that 1 second. You could have just kept on pressuring him, like, look, he's there, you're there, and your Farah's with you. I mean, she did die, but you traded.
Yeah.
Monkey low, monkey low, monkey low.
It's still a 5v5, and they were low.
Focus monkey, focus monkey, focus monkey, focus monkey. Monkey one.
Again, where's your translocator?
I don't have one down, I did that time.
No. Like, always, whenever you use a translocator, the first thing you want to look for is a place to put another translocator. It's a 2-second fucking cooldown, bro. You don't need to fucking go into a fight that quickly. Like, calm your tits. Get that coke out of your asshole, because you're snorting it through there right now, thinking I can just go into this fight without my trans and face tank everyone. If you're gonna be farming like that, you could be using your Orisa shield right here. It's not that far away from where you were farming that monkey. Oh look. Like, you could be using the shield right now, you're just choosing not to. You're not gonna get that much ult charge from this far away. I mean, never mind, you got like 7%. Never mind, I dying Sombra. But at least hold this pillar right here. If you're gonna be backing off, back off to the shield. If you can't, have a translocator down if you wanna hide behind that pillar. But you trade, but you do get fucked. It's not the worst. You could have just died with not killed the monkey. Yeah, it really was a risky res.
It's fine, I have EMP, I have EMP.
Okay, stay point, stay point, stay point.
And your Ash Bob popped off.
Hey, pop in off.
Yeah. That should have been a lost fight.
What is my gun falling?
But they can't kill Bobs.
I got Mongo. I'm gonna use. Okay, I've got Mongo. They're running. What are they running? Look at that comp. What? You think?
They are
Alright,
flowing, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna use Mongo.
So right now,
Okay.
I mean, it's a bit dodgy to do it because I think the Honor will detect you. But you could be looking at dropping EMP from a high ground, peeking for 1 second to drop the EMP, and then staying on the high ground. Like, you could be going up this staircase on the bridge, drop EMP, and then keep on pressuring whoever you can while the EMP is still up and you have the high ground. Instead of just going behind them here, waiting to EMP from behind and hoping that no one like shoots at you because they're plat.
I'm hiding behind ring for EMP at any time.
It's a bit annoying that their Honor was just AFK there.
I don't know what they're doing. Oh, they're waiting for Widow.
Yeah. I don't think you would have went onto this high ground if it went for the Widow, so we're just gonna thank the Widow for being a Widow. That's all we can do. Look, this is the second time she almost fucks you.
Yeah.
Widow the high ground here.
Following now.
EMP now?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
It's last fight anyway, don't worry.
It's last fight, it's fine. Last fight.
Yeah, no, I'm just like worried about saving it because they got a sneaky.
Oh yeah, Radiator trying to back up his plan of saving ults on the last fight.
Okay.
5 head, dude. 5 head. Okay. Just want to go over like little bits that you caught from that scrim. Is there anything you want to point out or like go over again?
I think one of the main things with Sombra, like one of the main things I'm really unsure about is like kind of like translocator usage, but like you kind of went over that with like high ground and stuff. So
I just want to talk about fucking your LOS is atrocious sometimes. Enemy and team LOS. You need to have like an image in your head of where the enemy are gonna be and where your team are relative to you.
yeah.
Cause like, where is it? Let me find my timestamp. Yeah, at like 8:15 or whatever I think it was. Just you kill the ball, you get too giddy from killing him, and you just lose your brain cells and do that.
Yeah, the feed.
Everyone's fed, alright? You don't need to worry. But that was so like preventable, and it hurt me to watch.
But
It's just everyone goes tunnel vision, they go blank, they don't know what's actually happening on their screen, they just move with their fingers like they got some magical touch or some shit. Also, I want to go back to this little Widow 1v1. Contesting Widows of Sombra isn't the biggest no-no, but if you are going to be contesting Widows, like you're practically AFK. Like look at yours. Was there any strafing at all? You strafed after you got shot.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like you know how you strafe against Widows or not?
Just it's like the WASN. I can't speak. A and D. It's like crouch spamming it.
AD crouch spamming. Yeah, that's a great one against Widows. Sometimes it might not be the most effective if they like just hit in the middle of it. It's still OP. AD crouch spamming is OP against any sort of like McCree or Widow hit scan kind of shit, because they need pixel perfect aim, and if you're dodging their shots by like tiny pixels with your crouch AD spam, it's gonna annoy them. Another thing though, since your aim is reliant on tracking, right? Because you're Sombra.
Yeah.
If you're AD crouch spamming, you've got big enough spread to not worry about having to actually track that much, because you're tracking by crouching and spamming and like strafing. You're not moving your mouse, you're moving your body. So instead of tracking with your mouse, you're tracking with your like keyboard, alright? If you get what I mean.
I see what you mean.
Because it's like you've got a circle for a spread, and as long as Widow's in that circle, your RNG could make it so that you get some lucky headshots, or most of your bullets land inside of that circle where Widow's standing. But another thing you could do if you wanted to like actually focus on getting the kill, if she's like not half HP and you want to kill her, is have you heard of a stutter stepping, like twinkle toes?
Not really, to be fair. What's that?
It's like you know how Widow needs to charge a shot.
Yeah.
She needs to wait that 2 or 3 seconds to get a shot off. Something you could be doing, right, is just standing still, waiting for her to charge the shot, because she has a really obvious scoping animation when you're this close to her. Like, you can see right here how her scoping looks. Okay, she hides around the corner. You know she's going to re-peek you with her scope up. And you see her peek through like that, right? What you could be doing is, as soon as you see her peek again, she's probably going to be at full charge. That should be going through your head right now. She's at kill zone. Like you're at a kill zone level right now. She could be killing you right now. You do strafe a bit. It's a bit late, and you're lucky that she went for like probably hit your shoulder or some shit. But what you can do as well to annoy Widows sometimes is instead of crouching AD spam, if you want to go for the kill, you can like start a step, which is D at the exact moment she's about to shoot you, or like A at the exact moment she's about to shoot you. Maybe crouch as well, but most of the time Widows will hit like body shots sometimes. If you know that this Widow's a body shot bandit, then don't crouch, because she'll probably like fall into the headshot hitbox, and you don't want to give the Widow a kill like that. But I'll go into Overwatch right now, see how long it takes me to set it up so I can actually show you, because it's a bit weird to explain.
Yeah, do you want me to go hop on as well or something?
No, I'm recording this, so it's fine. You'll see it in the recording. Just give it a second to load up. So how's your day been?
Oh, mine has been great, you know.
I don't care, shut up. I'm joking. No. It's just these awkward poses, you gotta fill it in with speech, and it's cringy as shit.
Yeah.
One sec, okay, I'm loaded in. So you'll see this in the recording, and you know what, I'll even go on Discord and screen share with you, if I can. If I know how.
Pretty sure it's in this thing.
No, I don't know how. Okay, you'll just have to see this in the recording. I'll explain it while I do it as well. But one thing you want to do against Widows, the start stepping shit, tapping D slightly, just so you move your headbox, like your headshot hitbox by a tiny bit. So like instead of like AD crouch spamming, which I'm doing right now in the game, just like shooting randomly. I'll go into Sombra so it's even more accurate. Like instead of crouch AD spamming, you could just be starter stepping, waiting for the Widow to give her shot off. So like she's about to shoot now. You like hitting D as soon as I say now, or whatever. You're just slightly tapping it so you don't lose your aim. And Widow's stationary as shit. She's an easy target. You just put her mouse on. You put your mouse on her head. That's literally as simple as that, and she's not gonna move away from it. So all you need to do is put your mouse on the fucking hitbox, move to a tiny bit. You don't even need to move your mouse that much to aim at her again. Like she becomes a really easy target when you do this like start stepping thing every 2 or 3 like half a second, maybe 1 second. Like just if you can keep a little clock in your head of when the shot's about to charge up again, that's a little nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you're not going to do that, because the Widow was peeking into you really randomly, and you didn't know when she was going to peek, because her being around the corner gives her the advantage of being able to call the engage onto you. You can't control that. What you could just be doing is crouch AD spamming until she peeks you, and then you can maybe start step if you want. But that's just this is something I wanted to cover a little. But anything else you want to go over?
Trying to think if there's anything on Diva.
Recall was on C.
She like.
Who do you guys do that?
I just waved that.
You went over DM usage, didn't you? Yeah, you went over that a lot. Pretty sure you went over quite a lot, Diva, to be fair. Pretty much. I'm pretty sure you pretty much hit everything there. I can think about the moment.
Yeah. Just want to remind you there's a really important rule. I want to like stress it out even more. It's on the little q.gg shit. It's primary fire. There's less than CDs. It's less than ults. In terms of the ease to gain it, like the accessibility of it, is more. Like, just want you to remember that and think about your DM usage when you have that in your head. Okay, I'm gonna call the recording there. Nice little session, mate.